Welcome to Wisdom Inspired, a podcast designed to help high achievers to eliminate burnout and overwhelm. Now let's prepare to open our hearts, our minds, and our notebooks to receive today's wisdom. The spiritual keys to living clutter-free. And we've covered a lot. There's been 3 installments, right? And so we've covered the fact that the clutter that there's a link, between the physical clutter and the spiritual clutter, and it spills over into other areas of our life. The clutter that you see around you is an indication of what's going on inside. It spills over into your business life. It spills over into your personal life, to your financial life, into your relationships. All of this is impacted, right? And the spiritual clutter that we're talking about is, your thoughts, your worries, and all of these things consume you. It wastes your time. It consumes your energy. And it keeps you from staying focused on the things that really matter. And so in the previous episodes, we talked about the first key was forgiveness and practicing forgiveness. And then the second key was fearfulness and analyzing fear. And then the third key was being fruitful, right? And so the goal of this series has always been to help you to lessen the clutter that you have in your life. Lessen the clutter, minimize the spiritual clutter, examining yourself, and get an understanding of what's really going on. And that the first step to clearing away whatever form of clutter that you are dealing with starts from the inside. And so with that said, I wanted to share, in closing out our series, I wanted to share a few indicators that you may be living a cluttered life. Now, excuse me, this may be that it may not be you. It may be someone that you know, okay? And so the other thing that I wanted to make sure that I say before I even jump into this topic is that there's a disclaimer. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a psychologist, and this is not a diagnosis. And this is not an all-inclusive list. Okay? Okay, pumpkins? I just want to make sure that I share that because sometimes you see things or you hear things and you think, well, just because that may sound like you, then you must be like that. Then that is not the point of the series or anything that we talk about here on Wisdom Inspired. All right, so I've gotten that out of the way. But with that said, there are a few indicators that you are living a cluttered life, or again, you may know someone that's living a cluttered life. And so today's topic is Cluttered Life Indicators. Cluttered Life Indicators. So let's jump into indicator number 1. The need for more. That could be an indicator. When you're looking for stuff to make you happy, right? You're just constantly looking outside of yourself. You're constantly looking for things and stuff and possessions. And all this becomes short-lived, and soon enough you're back to where you began, and you still have a need for more. It becomes this endless cycle because stuff will never make you happy. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting things or having a healthy desire to have a better life or to be surrounded by nice things. But what I am saying is that when it's excessive and it's done to fulfill some type of inadequacy or a need to be accepted or seeking approval by others, that could be an indicator. So that's indicator number 1. Indicator number 2, you feel there's never enough. Now, this is similar to indicator number 1, but this one is all about accomplishments and achievements and academia. You may feel like there's never enough that you need to accomplish something else. Like you keep trying to reach this pinnacle, right, of achievements. And you have the need for more and more degrees or certifications or recognition or achievements. Nothing wrong with any of that. Nothing wrong with degrees. Nothing wrong with certifications. Nothing wrong with recognition for your accomplishments and achievements. However, if you're looking for fulfillment and value and worth in any of those things, you're not going to find it. There will always be that feeling of never enough information, never enough consuming more webinars or training, or, that need to be fulfilled by that knowledge, right? Again, nothing wrong with any of that, but you got to have a balance. And when you're trying to define yourself in those things, that's where that could be a problem. So that's indicator number 2. Indicator number 3, you're worried about losing it all. Interestingly enough, some people feel that they don't have enough, and they're worried at some level or another about losing what they have. And depending on your circumstances and your life experiences, some are afraid of losing it, right? You'll find this more commonly in older people, right? That's come through some challenging times. Perhaps they lived in an era where they feel the need to accumulate more because they felt like they didn't have enough, right? And so they feel like they lose it all, right? Because they've lost a lot already. My biological mother had an excessive amount of clothes and electronics and stuff. And although she would give her last dollar to someone, but because of her life experiences and the era that she grew up in, she still felt the need to buy stuff just in case. And all I'm saying is that the mental and psychological, or as well as the physical clutter surrounding you, both inside and outside of you, can prevent you from living a truly meaningful, purposeful, and effective life. So the question becomes, what is truly important in your life? You should always be asking yourself, what is truly important in my life? And if you're like most people, I believe most people, what is truly important has nothing to do with stuff. It has nothing to do with possessions. It has nothing to do with any of the things that I just shared. Nothing to do with the things that are outside of you, right? And I want to encourage you today, because I hear God saying to you, to those that you know that may be going through this type of process, right? God says that you are enough. I have created you uniquely. You are uniquely and wonderfully made. You have enough. You have everything inside of you because I created you, and you are enough. So I hope today's wisdom has inspired you. I hope it inspires you in your spiritual and your entrepreneurial journey. That is always our goal. I hope you enjoyed the episode of Wisdom Inspired that was brought to you by the AAC Co-working Community, a virtual community designed to support female entrepreneurs, business owners, and freelance professionals. For more, go to wisdominspired.net.